Can't believe it's Memorial Day weekend.
I know.
What's that?
Memorial Day weekend already.
Oh, I know.
Are they having service on Monday at the firehouse?
I'll find out these days. Too.
I didn't see anything.
Michelle, let us know when you're ready. All right. Calling the meeting to order. Can I please have attendance roll call?
Supervisor Holdridge.
Here.
Councilmember Ardisana.
Here.
Councilmember Becker.
Here.
Councilmember Courtney.
Here.
Councilmember Dysinger.
Here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Do I have a motion to head an executive session?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are now heading into executive session. right. Do I hear a motion to come out of executive session?
I'll make the motion.
There's a second and a motion, a second by Councilman Becker and Dysinger. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are out of executive session.
Supervisor, you didn't mention the purpose of it.
Oh, it was for personnel. Sorry. All right. Now, summary bills.
We'll
You
do
know,
the
you know those
minutes.
earlier.
Go into the-
Please find the enclosed utility abstract for 5/22. The town will be paying bills in the amount of $39,167.12 and returning one road bond. Does anybody have any questions about the bills? They can direct that to Neil.
Yep.
But everybody had a chance to review it.
Yep.
All right. Is there a motion?
Yeah, one thing I would say it'd be, I know it was sent out around late morning.
Mm-hmm. They should
It'd be nice if it was a day or two early, so
Yes.
we have really time to really go over it,
Mhm.
but I don't have any questions on it.
I'll make a note. And
I'll second.
yeah.
I'll second the motion.
All right. All those in
Who made the motion?
Who made-
Sorry.
I think Larry said he was okay.
Larry,
with
did you make a motion or you just had?
No, but I can make a motion.
it. I thought
Larry
he
made
said
a
he was okay with it, so I just assumed he made the motion.
Okay.
Sorry,
Put 'em
Larry.
down.
That's all right.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You skipped number 5 on purpose, buddy?
What's that?
The minutes for the
Oh,
meeting?
no, I did not. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes from the special meeting on 5/1 and the regular meeting on 5/8. Are there any questions about that?
No.
No?
No,
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that was to accept the meeting minutes. All right. Reports. Got a couple things going on. At the dog park, there was turf installed after a couple complaints from residents about the vestibule, how muddy it was. So the buildings and grounds installed turf there. So hopefully that is going well. They also installed, after complaints reached myself directly, no pet signs at various parks around town. So those were installed recently. We had some unfortunate, not at the dog park. That'd be an oxymoron or something like that. Yeah. So that's at Carpenter and the Commons and all that. I held a meeting along with Councilman Courtney, and we've had a couple meetings since the closing of summer camp about planning for 2025. I just want to let the public know that I do intend to push for summer camp next year. I do intend to make some budget changes if I'm allowed. So I'm going to be trying, and I think the board is behind that, depending on the financials. So I'm not giving up on it until after next year. Hopefully I don't have to give up on it after next year, but I'm hoping to make a push for it next year. So, and we're also planning on different things to do this year in terms of trips and something else that we have cooking in the kitchen right now. The comptroller and I attended municipal finance school up at Albany. So we learned a good amount about finances and budgeting and long-term planning and all that. So it was very, very informative, I'd like to say. And I also met up with our neighbor over in Warwick, the supervisor, Jesse Dwyer. So that was nice. We had a meeting today, actually, with the engineer and some residents about playgrounds and making sure that they're inclusive for sensory disabilities and all different types of children moving forward. We did apply for, I believe, 2 or 3 grants now for playgrounds. So we're very hopeful about the CDBG one for $170,000. That's going to include paving around that baseball field that links up with the 2 playgrounds over at Carpenter Park. So we're very excited and hopeful about that. Speed limit reduction request to the DOT. So unfortunately, the speed limit reduction request to the DOT about Kings Highway was denied. So unfortunately, we're going to have to move forward with that. I know there's a stretch of that road in the hamlet that's 40 miles per hour. Where? On the back end.
Right.
Yes. So maybe we can submit another request to move that down to 30. If that's better than nothing, unfortunately, so I'll make a note to try to get a resolution on that for the next meeting. 40. No problem. All right. Also, the request to the DOT to move up the timeline on the 17M bridge reconstruction seems to be denied as well. I say seems to be because they didn't really ever say anything other than it's scheduled. Both of those request letters were sent to the town clerk and should be up on the town website with the minutes of this meeting for everybody to it'll be posted. Yes. Yeah. I forwarded that to the state senator and the state assemblyman to see what they could do, if anything. But as of right now, it's set to go out to bid in late 2025, early 2026, and start construction late 2026, early 2027. So that is the timeline. It's so far unsuccessful in moving that up.
I
But
did promise to keep the bridge in good shape.
they did say that it's supported and it's in good shape, according to them. I have been a hawk on that bridge. I know some may have noticed some potholes earlier in the year. Those were filled rather quickly. And I will continue to do that as long as they refuse to reconstruct it sooner. So I'm sure there's a dartboard with me somewhere in the DOT's office. Moving on, the donation drive. Yes, so the town, I am going to open up my office to accept donations for the people who were affected by the fire in Whispering Hills last month. Unfortunately, I would have rather had that done sooner, but there's a lot of back and forth with the HOA, unfortunately, that resulted in such a delay. But Senator Skoufis has been very kind in partnering with us on that. So he's also going to be collecting donations at the Cornwall office. So I made sure I posted that everywhere around Facebook, around the county, to see if we can get some people to help donate.
What type of donations are they?
They're looking,
for?
that's a good question. They're looking for clothes and toiletries. I don't have sizes. I don't have sizes yet. I've been trying to reach out to the residents about specific sizes, but anything.
Is this multiple residents or are all six
There's
families
6
out
units.
of there?
4 of the 6 are looking for donations at the time. There's 2 that were lucky enough to salvage enough to not feel like they need. They don't want to take donations away from others who might need it more. So that is that. This Friday, we're going to be accepting donations. I mean, obviously you can come in anytime, but this Friday is, the big day. So just come to the supervisor's office on the left-hand side of Town Hall. And then that is it for me. Oh yeah, the Kiwanis cleanup was a big success. Thank you to Kiwanis. A lot of us were out there ourselves, and I got to hang out with the village trustees and all that, so that was fun. That is it for me. Let's start with Larry this time.
Okay. Still waiting for some feedback on the filling of land ordinance, so please, allocate some time to give me some feedback. It's not only the town board, but also the planning board, the town engineer, and the building inspector.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, I submitted a draft of a replacement in the town code. Current 95A has to do with weeds, for properties that are overgrown, but it's pretty limited and, and I think it needs to be revised and enhanced. So I did research on what other towns do, and I found a town that, has a code called property maintenance, which covers the grounds as well as even, buildings for that matter. So I put something together and I sent to the comprehensive plan committee. And I've also sent it to the town board today. So, when you get a chance, take a look at it, and it's, because
I gave it a quick glance so far. I like what I've seen so far.
Yeah,
You
so-
look at the Village of Chester's too. I think they did one a few years ago.
I'll look at that. No, I didn't look at the village. No, when I did my search, that didn't
The
come
town
up.
was
But I
highlighted.
was generic anyway, so.
Yes.
I just asked Cindy, who was involved in a similar thing. She said they took him to court. I don't remember what action.
That was back on Steve Rhodes, down by, where one of the barns are now that the co-op has. But he had the whole front yard covered,
Yeah,
and he was in violation.
right.
What violation?
Well, I think
That's why
for
it
me,
needs to
the
be updated.
impetus is, we want our town to be, beautiful, attract people to come to our town. It would increase our values of our homes if, we have, nice, clean landscaping and this and that. Probably one of the offenders I know is some of the,
You have some kind of ordinance that says that you have to.
There is.
well,
Very
that's
vague.
weed, 95A, and it's called weeds, and it's limited.
I think what Larry's looking for is a little bit more clarity.
Comprehensive.
And,
So, if everyone, please, to take a look at and
Yep.
provide you some comments. I know that Matt Woods, from our chairman of the comprehensive plan, he sent me a bunch of comments today, and that was appreciated. I know that about a week ago, the comprehensive plan review committee had submitted proposed changes to zoning district AR.3. So, please, everyone, take a look at it. On the items there, the items in red are things to be deleted. In blue are what's changed, and green is what's added.
I spoke to the town attorney. She'll be drawing up a local law to then be sent to, that'll be sent to the planning board for review. So she's
Okay, all
going
right.
to be on that. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think
good.
everybody should review it in the meantime in case, we have changes before she draws up the local law.
All right, so that's the first of many
Yeah.
zoning districts. We also did SR 1, 2, and 6. That would be forthcoming, I'm sure, within a month. So we're doing it, a little bit at a time, so we don't wait to the end and drag it out. So that's all I have.
Tom? Thank you, Larry.
Okay, for over at the theater, the water department installed the chlorination system over there, and we'll wait, I'll check with the health department to whether we should activate it yet or wait till we get the information back from them for the application we've sent to them. I haven't received any confirmation from them yet. I'm also reviewing the material specifications for the water line to be installed there also. The engineer's going to send that over. Also have an estimated cost for projects that are there. It could be $5,000 for the wet tap needed, and there could be a cost of up to $50,000 plus for the water main materials, and additional cost for bedding and filling for around the water main. So that's something the board has to keep in mind for monies for getting that project done. Last week I attended a Moodna Basin meeting. There's a lot of things coming up in the future as far as cost through Moodna Basin. We will be looking at a lot of future costs for infrastructure upgrades. $50,000 currently took place for a repair of a force main at Sugarloaf. So we will be looking at a bill of $50,000 for that project. Also, there's a $70,000 bill coming in probably with next year's budget with Moodna Basin for us. A part of that, or a big part of that, for upgrades to the pump 3A station. That's the main pump station. Now they had to install little new pumps, so that's something we'll be looking at. That'll be covered by all of our districts. Also, we're going to be looking at future costs from the county for the planned upgrades to the Harriman treatment plant. They're in the engineering stages now, but they're talking with this project being over $100 million project for that sewer plant upgrades. We also have to keep in mind for budgetary in the future, some of our districts that flow through the village, and we may be adding maintenance and pumping costs to those districts to pay back the village for all the pumping and the infrastructure work that they do for their pump stations that we basically use to distribute our, effluent through the village from our districts. And also we have some major issues over in Surrey Meadows still in regards to infrastructure repairs to fix the infiltration issues. So that's another thing we'll be looking at budgetary time. So just a lot of things are coming up as far as Moodna Basin goes. One other thing I'd like to ask the board about, after our engineer finalizes the work on the theater water line, would the board be in agreement for me to have them to start working on the Walton Lake Estates tie-in of the new well we have drilled down there? I've talked to them prior to this, and I guess our best way to move that ahead is to move that pump, move a water line all the way into the existing plant. So if everybody's in agreement, I'll have them move on that next. If
I don't
we
see
can.
why not.
Okay, I just want to throw it out to you before I talk to them. That's all.
I'm fine.
Just
Yeah.
something
We
we
need to get
can.
more reliable water over there, so.
Okay, yep. So that's just, I was concentrating on the first part of this. This is the second part, and we're still waiting for the $130,000 grant, but I'd like to get this moving a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Luckily, we'll actually be receiving that grant now that it's been signed this year.
Awesome.
So,
We need it, or that
Um,
district needs it.
yes. All right. Moving forward, yeah, Bob?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
Yeah, I was
this.
about to say. I guess.
Just a couple things. I'm still finalizing the committee for the PAC. So on a work session, I'll be able to discuss that with everybody. I also did some tentative math. I think I talked about at the last meeting, and breaking down very granular on some policies and procedures we can change within the theater for rentals and whatnot.
Okay.
And I'll be ready to discuss them on the 6th. I've attended a bunch of meetings with yourself, and we did do the Kiwanis cleanup on Saturday. I didn't have a chance to ride with you on the bus, but I was out there with Larry's wife, and I know she came across the snake, Larry. I don't know if she told you.
No, she didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I ran up the street. I didn't even wait around. But and then this Saturday is the Kiwanis 5K race.
Yes, that's right.
So that's all I have.
And Tony?
Yeah, don't forget this weekend is the Memorial Day weekend. Watch what you're drinking and driving. I'm sure the chief will have some people out there. And we have the Touch a Trunk on 15th, the Touch a Trunk. Now, I have a question.
The
okay?
touch truck is next, is
15th.
June 15th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, June 15th.
Okay. You have a question?
Yeah, a couple of my neighbors have moved in and took down a lot of trees, I guess, in the backyard, to a point where one of the houses has as much chopped down wood as, I would say, half of this room over here in their driveway. Now, that's a fire hazard.
I would contact the building inspector about that, I would say.
Yeah, we'll talk to them.
Yeah, right now, we don't have anything in the town code about restricting
That's,
clearing a lot. It's something that goes in front of the planning board, yes. But other than that,
Existing.
someone buys a piece of property and it's fully wooded, there's nothing to stop them from going in and
Wasn't that-
clearing it.
Didn't we speak about that at the last comprehensive plan meeting, I want to say?
Yes, we need to address that, and the comprehensive plan review committee is going to put
Yeah.
some verbiage in there about that, but I believe we do need a town code that reflects that.
I mean, even if it's in the plan, it doesn't mean that it can be enforced if it's not in our code.
Right,
right.
correct.
All right. Well, we should look into that. Maybe Tony, you want to talk to the building inspector about
I will.
what we have on the books right now, and then maybe suggestions for code. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Public comment. Do we have public comment?
Young legs move.
Cindy Smith.
Young legs move.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Just a couple questions. Did anybody look into what the county's doing at Camp Guardia?
Yes.
The county took it over and they're gonna supposedly put it in a park
Yeah,
But
I
they're
have-
doing major work there.
Yeah.
For what?
turn it into a park. You're gonna turn it over to the Parks
Hold on.
Department for the Orange
I
County.
think he's now.
That doesn't tell me anything.
What are they
Yeah.
doing? They're in the buildings right now. There's fencing up and stuff. I think he's got
Well,
an
that's
answer.
it. The buildings is not.
According to the county executive, they've been cleaning it up for the last 2 years and continue to do so in order to turn it into a park. That is all he gave me. So his plan is to keep it and turn it into a park, and they're just cleaning. They're cleaning the buildings, cleaning the property. That's all he told me.
Well, maybe so, but that's not all that they're doing. So,
I would reach out to the county then and reach out to the county.
well, I just thought that you'd get more information, being that it's a major part of the town of Chester.
I spoke to the county executive himself, and that is all he told me. So that's,
I guess he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of garbage that's been over there for
Yeah.
the years, and I'm sure that's what they're cleaning up. Maybe they are doing something more.
Well, they got
That's
grant money
possible.
to remove buildings also.
Yeah.
okay. Also, down at the dog park, do you think somebody should look into the Jansons who sold us the trees? 2, 3 of them are dead.
Yeah, we're already on that, actually.
Yeah.
We're looking at
Are
that.
they gonna
Richard
re-
has been very helpful.
I have them on my way here.
yeah.
I'll send you an email.
We're going to be talking about how to either replace them or save them. So,
Well, dead is dead.
well, I don't believe all 3 of them are dead.
No.
So
Two are dead and one maybe needs to be trimmed out and maybe it'll survive.
there you go.
Right.
So we're going to be looking into doing
But
that.
wouldn't there be, when you look into having them replaced through Janssen, so like a year warranty onto them?
That's what they give.
I think we got them from Manza, didn't we?
No, they were from Janssen.
Oh, they were? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They were
Well,
from
we could
Janssen.
talk to Jansen's about that.
Okay.
The question, have we been watering those trees?
Yes.
No, we have been?
Yes.
Okay,
I spoke to the buildings and grounds.
okay.
They said that they watered them, but I think we need to have a little bit more clarity as to how often, so we can make sure that we're up to speed.
Especially now with the heat.
Yes.
coming in. We're going away from the rain.
It looks like it's going to be more dry this summer, so unless I've seen something wrong.
It may have drained to begin with.
Yeah.
All right.
I have public comment.
Yep, we have a list here first.
Okay.
Richard Logothetis.
I sent out a recap on our Gateway Park, the Magolas Gateway Park. I hope you've all gotten it.
Yes.
Proud of it. But proud as much as anything is the fact that the town with the community and a Girl Scout project, you got involved, people put their sleeves up, people donated, Nick donated, Jeff donated some of the materials, I donated some of the materials, and together we got it done. And I think this is hopefully a indication of future projects that we can come together and do. We don't want to rely on the town or anybody else to buy things from us. We want to have, as Jeff says, skin in the game. And I think this is one way that we showed to do it. However, we do have now to move forward. We have a lot of other projects that we're looking at. Traffic calming, we'll have to deal with the traffic in terms of the speed limit. There's whether or not we're putting in sidewalks, temporary sidewalks. There's a project that I'm interested in, which is a town square, which was brought up by Nick at one of our meetings. So I want to start looking forward to other projects to do, one at a time, a little bit here, a little bit there, will get done. As a base for that, we do need to have a map so that we can say, where is this going, and take a scale out, not to say it's over there. No, maybe it'll fit through there. Let's get a tape measure, a map, or is referred to as survey. So that we can say, all right, there is the sidewalk here, it's 3 foot wide. 3 foot wide, by the way, is acceptable for ADA. That was whatever at the thing. It has some requirements. So this one we can do, this one needs some work, this is an obstacle here. But we need a survey, and I understand that you're looking at trying to fund that survey. All I can say is, we'd like to keep going. Please help us do that.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
Maureen?
She left.
Oh, it's unfortunate. Jeff.
I'm going to support Richard, but sorry I'm going to have to read a short statement because I'm tired. Jeff Zahn, President of the Sugarloaf Community Foundation. What does Sugarloaf mean to Chester? And does it deserve an investment in this kind of first step survey? For me, it's all about heart. On Route 17, as you go west, there's a billboard that says, "Welcome to Chester, the heart of Orange County." And for us, many of us, we think that Sugarloaf is the heart of Chester. They're wonderful, but McDonald's, the Castle, Allen's Falafel are all wonderful places, but we believe that it's Sugarloaf. It's quirky, it's different, it attracts visitors, shoppers, concert goers. We have restaurants, breweries, a very successful special event like the Fall and Spring Festival and holiday event. And I think it's clear for me that Sugarloaf is now going through a mini renaissance with so much happening. New businesses are opening, the caboose has been renovated, Margolis Park has been rebuilt, the mountain has been bought, we're becoming a historic district. The Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center is doing very well, and our festivals continue to thrive, and lots of other great things are happening. Many of the other nearby towns have identifying traits, qualities. If you go to Warwick, it has a thriving downtown. If you go to Goshen, it has the historic racetrack, the museum. It has the trail with a lot of ice cream shops. And for us, we think it's Sugarloaf, whether it's Pete's Candles or Nick's Studio, Richard's Place, Mary Indico. It has its unique identity, the Tin Barn. So many of the issues being discussed are not new. They've been identified for decades, going back to a SUNY Albany study that says sidewalks and traffic calming are absolutely essential to our continued growth and success. We've never had that opportunity to enact any of these changes till this year when the town finally took over the road. So the question becomes growth or not. We clearly need these changes, in my opinion, in order to grow or at least maintain what we have. The shopkeepers need it as well as the visitors and residents. It's not just the aesthetics and making the town prettier. It's also about safety and crossing the street without ducking fast-moving trucks. It's parking issues and other issues. But we can't move ahead with anything unless we can get approval on this survey. We are very appreciative that the town is seriously considering it and investing in our future. And we understand the board has lots of other initiatives it needs to fund. We heard many of them tonight that's critical. So it's important to point out we do not take this for granted. As Richard said, we do have skin in the game, and we are totally committed to putting more skin in the game. Today, 3 members of the Sugarloaf Community Foundation, including my wife, were out in the hot sun planting flowers to make it look beautiful that we paid for. We did Margolis Park that we paid for, along with the town, of course, a really wonderful joint project. I produce free classical concerts and kids concerts that I always lose money on. And for free concerts, Richard produces a series of concerts. That's wonderful. So we take pride in our community and we're willing to invest our own money in it. And we want to see it succeed. We're currently making plans for this fall for a 5K race, which should be profitable, we hope. Monroe just had a very profitable one with the proceeds targeted for town improvements. It's important to point out that if the survey is approved and if we start moving ahead, nothing will be done without public meetings and public discussions. We have ideas and suggestions from professionals, but we want to work with the town board, the residents, and business owners to make sure we make smartest, most cost-effective decisions. As an example, numerous studies have suggested raised crosswalks are effective measures to slow down traffic, but many residents and shop owners are skeptical. And now we're looking into alternative suggestions, such as regular, not raised crosswalks, or having solar speeding lights to slow down. We want to work with everyone in a cooperative, transparent manner, including the town board, with the shared goal of having as little impact on the taxpayers as possible. We're very appreciative you're looking into funding the survey, as we feel it's critically important first step, and we'll do our part to support you in every way possible. But for me, it's all about heart, and we hope you share our desire to make Sugarloaf even more special. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Joe. Nick?
Good evening. Nick Songoli. To the Kings Highway for the last 45 years in the heart of Sugarloaf. And I've been known to ramble in my public speaking, so I prepared a small statement, just cuts right to the chase. And actually, you'll hear basically the same we heard from the last 2 speakers. So let me just read what I've want to put into the public record here. So there's a lot of great stuff going on here in our community in Sugarloaf. So aside from the purchase of Sugarloaf Mountain with your help, right, I want to thank the town board for the support that they've given Sugarloaf, starting with acquiring Kings Highway from the county. It was really a huge, huge step for our community. This was a major step towards making the hamlet a safer and more attractive place to live, work, and visit. Now the real work will begin of improving the road to help slow the speed and the volume of the traffic that comes through our community. So before any plan can be put into place, an engineering survey will need to be done. So as you know, the businesses and residents of Sugarloaf put a plan together 20 years ago. So I'm asking, please, let us not wait any longer to address the traffic issues that plague our hamlet. And now that the town owns Kings Highway, it's more imperative than ever to make it safe. It's our responsibility, town's responsibility, not the county's any longer. I'd also like to thank the town board for your help in completing the newly finished Margolis Gateway project. The Community Foundation, as they've already mentioned, we paid for the landscape plan. We paid the community members designed and built the new posts. The town purchased 2 beautiful carved signs. And we had a Girl Scout come in and complete an Eagle Badge project to rebuild the stone wall with community help. And this past week, our community members who are here, we finished the gateway with new topsoil plantings and mulch. So this project, it shows how much can be accomplished when the community and the town work hand in hand. That's what we want. We want to continue what we've begun and the support that you have given us with the mountain, with the road, with projects in the community. And I have to say, having been in the trenches on this for 20 years and going way back, the town board, you guys are a breath of fresh air that have come in to Sugarloaf. And I'm so thankful that we have you to work with. And I look forward to working more with you. So currently, our community foundation is organizing several fundraisers to help the cost of improvements that are coming to the hamlet, as Jeff and Richard already mentioned. So this summer we'll be sponsoring concerts and a 5K race, and to help towards the town's effort. And together, the community town can begin the process of improving the business district by approving funds for this Sugarloaf survey. So please, let's finally make it happen. We're so close to the finish line here. It's getting something done, because we've been talking about this and we know there's been a problem with the traffic and the volume of the traffic and the speed of traffic for 20 years. And the problems go way back 30 years. I'm ad-libbing now, I'm not reading off of this. But 30 years ago, the bypass, over 30 years ago, the bypass was put in for this very, very reason. They saw that there was traffic issues in Sugarloaf, and it was unsafe for pedestrian traffic. So the bypass was put in, and the original deal that was made, that we all agreed to, was supposed to go all the way through, a straight shot all the way through to Wickham Village, to where the blinking light is. And that would have really taken care of the whole issue, because the people who want to go from Warwick to Chester to the Quickway or in the opposite direction, that come through every day, all those commuters that come through every day who have no interest in stopping and shopping. Yeah, they see our businesses and they think about us maybe a little bit, but they're in a hurry. They come through, and the bypass was created for that. So our job is to get them to use the bypass. I think that is really what we're looking for. It's just, let's get the people who want to go from point A to point B quickly, let them use the bypass. And if we can't do it by traffic calming in Sugarloaf, then maybe somebody should like work on Steve Newhouse and the county to get that bypass finished, because that would take care of it too. But anyway, I look forward to working with all of you. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. It's only just begun now with the town acquiring the road, but I really feel very, very positive with all the things that are going on. And the people that we have in the community now, these are people who are getting stuff done. They know how to get stuff done. The Chamber of Commerce people couldn't be here tonight because there was a chamber meeting that was scheduled for this evening. So they were all there. But yeah, I spoke to them this evening, and yeah, you have a lot of people who are going to give support to this in our community and work and partner with the town. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
I'll leave this with you.
Anybody online?
I
Yeah,
have a question.
well, just, all right, sure. What's your
No,
question?
I want to know who's going to maintain this park? Is that the community foundation's responsibility, or is it going to be put to the town?
Which park? Well, the Community Foundation has been maintaining the park for all these years since it was created, and the town has been mowing.
Right, oh, okay, I was,
Yeah, but
you know,
the
being that you
community-
put in all these bushes.
Yeah, Community Foundation takes care of it.
Okay,
George Landscape.
that's all, thank you.
All right, online?
Okay, I have Connie Roach.
Mhm.
If the town owns the stretch of Kings Highway, why do they need to ask the state permission to reduce the speed?
That happens with all town-owned
Public
roads, even though, yeah, I think it's dumb too, but yes, it is a thing. We have to ask the DOT for permission, even on our own local roads.
Connie Roach, is the dog park turf only at the entrance to the park?
As far as I know, yes, the vestibule, where it was very muddy and gross.
Okay. Lydia Quadros, which water district is getting the $130,000 grant? And what is the $130,000 grant for?
So that's for Walton Lake Estates, and the 130K we're planning on using for what exactly
That
again?
is for the materials needed to run the pipeline from the new well to the plant.
Right.
For the materials.
I have nothing further.
Is there anything else in the audience tonight? No?
Has there been any other thought on the stop signs up in the intersection?
For Kings Highway and
Yeah,
Pine?
Kings Highway.
Yeah, I've been speaking to, wait, what do you mean stop signs?
Because you were talking about making 3 stop signs up there, by the bypass to get people to stop there.
Where Belleville and
Yeah.
Kings Highway meet?
Yes, that's in the works.
Okay.
Yes.
Does that something have to be approved by the state also?
No,
Okay.
stop signs are different. Well, it depends on where in the road, but yes, with where we're planning on, doing that, that's,
Because just having the stop signs up there might be a good focus on making people use the bypass rather than come through town, because they're already stopping.
Right,
yeah, no,
I
that's,
agree.
all that's still being discussed. All right, anything else? Anything else for public comment? See none? We will move on. All right, resolution to appoint EJ Schulbach to the Chester Conservation Advisory Council. At the last meeting or 2 meetings ago, we had a local law instituting the Conservation Advisory Council, and at that meeting, we realized that we put Martine's name down twice, so that left we forgot about EJ. It was the whole reason why, or
We did
half the
this.
reason why this thing even existed, along with myself. So we want to make sure that he is on the Conservation Advisory Council as a voting member. Anybody, multiple people can join, but there can only be 9 voting members. So EJ would be the 9th. So is there any questions or debate on that?
I'll make the motion.
Is there there's a motion by Councilman
Second.
Courtney, seconded by Councilman Deitinger. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Holdridge.
Aye.
Councilmember Ardisana.
Aye.
Councilmember Becker.
Aye.
Councilmember Courtney.
Aye.
Councilmember Dysinger.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Congratulations, EJ. All right, resolution to earmark $125,450 in ARPA funding to acquire and install a generator for the senior center. This will allow the town board to designate the senior center as an emergency shelter and warming/cooling center when needed once complete. So it's exactly, I think I wrote it all out there. We have around 100. Let me see, I have it from Neil here. We have I can't find it, of course. Yes. All right. Here we go. We started the year with near 400,000-ish. We in ARPA funds. We spent some on some trucks for the highway department earlier this year, if we all remember. We're left with at this moment $298,848 left in ARPA funding. I've been talking about a generator, and I know others have been talking about a generator for years now. After especially so many of the emergencies that we've had in the community, like the bomb threat earlier this year, and as well as the fire that we experienced last month. I ended up opening the senior center both times, but in reality, it's not really a real emergency shelter. It's just a building that I was happy to open up to people. But in times of crisis, and I think the police chief would agree with me, we're going to need something like this to back up the power over there. It's a big step forward, and we are still, I think, looking into grant funding. The big thing with ARPA is just because you allocate it does not mean that you're going to spend all of it. So I just want to make that clear. Anything that is left over can be reallocated up until April of 2025. So we're going to be allocating this tonight, hopefully, and then working with our town engineer to make it happen. And then anything left over will hopefully reallocate afterwards. But I think this has been a priority, for me for a couple of years now, and I think it's time to make good.
I've been talking about it for 5.
Yes.
I've been here.
So this
I
is
think, I think it's great that we have an emergency shelter. What about like cots and that type of stuff? So if we actually had to use it for days on end, I'm sure we don't have those type of.
I think that's an excellent
capabilities.
idea that we should definitely try to implement further down the
Something,
road.
yeah.
But I think like the conversation, like the stuff that Tom was just bringing up in other conversations amongst ourselves, money is tight. So,
No, I'm not saying now, but I think in the future,
in the
maybe
future, absolutely.
we should
I
look
completely
into
agree with
doing
you.
that.
This
Yeah.
is a major first step because
Yes.
I don't
Right.
think people realize, and the chief will correct me if I'm wrong, is you can't, if there was something catastrophic that happened, we can't house people in any of the firehouses, right? No, so we have no place to house people if that happens. So this is imperative that we do this.
Mhm.
And, down the road, I think we need to expound, and look further. Maybe, we find another large building that we have that we can do the same thing with. So, I mean,
Maybe
you
the
never
ca-
plan for these things and you pray to God it never happens, but.
maybe the county will think about that too with the upgrades to the the school.
Yeah,
Yep.
something we should talk.
Interject something?
Sure.
When I built the theater, we were gonna put a big generator in as well, for a couple of reasons. And the transformer pad there is designed to install a larger. But you have on your electric bill a thing called demand, which is horrendous for a theater of the type you have. If you install the generator, you could switch to generator during performances and substantially cut that demand down. So you might think about that as a location for a generator in the future.
That's right.
What's it called again, Richard?
Demand.
Demand, some demand
Right.
meter they put on.
When you get a bill, like this building has demand, it's constant, the electric is
Okay.
constant. And what it basically is, and it's done electronically now, it used to be with a key. And every 15 minutes, the electric company checks the maximum they use. And their theory is that if you're using power, every once in a while, you gotta do that. They
Surge.
have to provide that much, not this much.
Right.
So their
They bill you for that high amount.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing, is saying, well, if we have to have the infrastructure to do this, you have to pay for it. But it's not on a monthly basis, it steps down, even if you only use it once. So if you had a show, let's say it was hot, and you had the etching and your full stage lighting, that would take this thing and hook it up, and it only drops slowly. So you might be able to do something in that case.
So maybe the
and
next
actually
place to look.
Save money.
And I think too, when I followed up with the engineer about, because my understanding is the senior center was built with, to be able to just hook in the generator, not have to do anything else electrically.
Yeah, I saw that email.
So hopefully he follows up. And I
Yeah.
talk to Michelle whenever he gets back to me. I'll take him over there.
So there's a switch there already installed?
My,
No,
under-
that- but
my,
they're
underst-
gonna look
my
at it.
understanding there was when the building was built, but
He doesn't
John,
think so.
he didn't see it, and but he didn't get access to the electrical room. So I'm not sure where that would be. And would you be able to look at the outside of the building and say yay or nay to that? I don't know.
Should be
But I told him I'd
inside.
go over with him when we go through everything, because that might save us, that's gonna save us some money if that transfer switch is
So
there or it's
again,
required
this,
for it.
this $125,000 is a cost estimate put together by our engineer.
Mhm.
So theoretically, this is going to be a project that goes out to bid, correct? So we may see hopefully better numbers.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like I
We-
said,
we can hope.
just because we're allocating this much does not mean that we're gonna spend this much.
All right, so I'm gonna make a motion to,
I think I wanna make the motion.
all right, go ahead.
I'd like to make the motion to allocate the $125,450 to the generator.
I'll second it.
Very good. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Holdridge,
Aye.
Councilmember Ardisana,
Aye.
Councilmember Becker,
Aye.
Councilmember Courtney,
Aye.
Councilmember Dysinger.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Thank you all. All right, resolution to authorize Lincoln Tully to prep generator design documentation for bidding. That's exactly what Tom was just talking about.
I'll make the motion.
Yep. I will second it.
All right. Okay.
Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Holdridge,
Aye.
Councilmember Ardisana,
Aye.
Councilmember Becker,
Aye.
Councilmember Courtney,
Aye.
Councilmember Dysinger.
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
And he'll also confirm the size of that generator with the, I'll talk to him and, make sure that it's sized correctly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, we want to do this
Because
right.
that's still a concern. It
Absolutely.
just seems like 60 kilowatt.
68 is a little high. I think.
Yeah, I don't know if it's, and you guys might know better than I oversized mine for my house, just in case if I was gonna add stuff, so maybe when we're doing that, I don't know if there's anything we would want to add in case of an emergency to have there, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I
when he does
questioned-
his I asked him to give me, let me see the calculations, how he came up with what's required.
I know originally Al was looking at this back in the day when I was on board previous, and I had questioned him, and he said it had to do with everything operating in that building at one time and being able to operate everything.
Yeah,
So,
because when I did mine at the house, it was like 13,000 with everything operating. I put in 18,000 in because if I could ever add anything or
Yeah.
I didn't want to trust if everything was running at one time, it would be enough. So I don't know what we would have running in case of an emergency. Would we need more refrigeration and freezers? That's the kind of stuff I think we
Yeah.
got to just make sure that that's in the equation.
very good.
We'll be on it. Resolution to accept building moratorium waiver request from 306 Black Meadow Road and referral to the planning board. So I think I might have missed, what's it called?
Resolution.
Yeah, the resolution might not be, I have it here. So this, whereas the town of Chester has commenced a comprehensive planning process and in furtherance of that process has adopted local law 1 of 2024, a moratorium on certain permits, certificates of occupancy and approvals for certain development. Whereas Nicole Marie Sachi,
So, yeah.
owner of 306 Black Meadow Road, have previously applied for and received approval to construct a barn on said premises. Whereas it is necessary to bring approximately 1,000 yards of fill to achieve said construction. Whereas said fill requires a site plan approval. Whereas the planning board will not accept a site plan application due to the pending building moratorium. Now therefore be it resolved that upon review of the various materials submitted to the town board and the town board finds that the proposed project should be considered exempt from the moratorium pursuant to section 3E7, as the proposed project is for the purposes of completing a previously approved barn and will not alter the approved or legal use of the property or structure. And be it further resolved that this determination is subject to site plan review and approval by the Town of Chester Planning Board. And be it further resolved that the planning board shall accept and process the site plan application in accordance with the Town of Chester's zoning code. So that is the resolution to accept the request and allow them to move towards the planning board for site plan approval. Are there any questions or debate points on this?
No.
No, I think we discussed it.
All right, do I hear a motion?
Motion?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All, roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Holdridge.
Aye.
Councilmember Ardisana.
Aye.
Councilmember Becker.
Aye.
Councilmember Courtney.
Aye.
Councilmember Dysinger.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Very good. All right, resolution to earmark $100,000 in ARPA funding for the development and execution of the comprehensive plan. 25,000 of which will be used to specifically for a survey of the Kings Highway to lay the groundwork for future sidewalks, crosswalks, and other pedestrian-friendly improvements. So the breakdown with this is our engineer firm, Lincoln Tully, has estimated around $40,000 in order to complete the current review for the, I would imagine, the 2025 plan once we actually accept it next year, or at the end of this year, the 2024 plan, however, whenever we get a move on it. That's 40,000 right there. Now, when I talked to the engineer and the comptroller, we're all in agreement that, just because we're estimating 40,000 doesn't mean that, we're only going to need 40,000. So we wanted to give it an extra couple of monies in order to just have some there just in case. But we don't believe that it will need $60,000 extra, but we wanted to give it a very wide berth. 25 of that, of which can be used to knock out two birds with one stone. Yes, we just acquired the road, which is great, and we want to move forward with that. At least I do. The other thing is, in the 2015 plan that we are now reviewing, it is already in the plan to get pedestrian-friendly improvements on that road. That's already written in there. So not only would we be planning for the future, but we would be fulfilling a goal from the previous plan that was never fulfilled before for various reasons, primarily of which that we did not own the road. So I think this is a great opportunity to use this money to get the survey. Once we have the survey, we can get our engineer to draw a project scope and estimate, get the public input, make sure that it's what we want. And then from there, we can start actually searching for grants and, searching for ways to fund, putting brick and mortar down, however you want to put it. I think this is the way forward. I think it's a good way forward. And without this, we can't do any of the great things that we just heard so many people just talk about, and what we've been talking about for so long here on the town board. I held a meeting with Senator Skoufis and multiple members of the community last month, along with the chamber and the community foundation. It was a very big success, around 30-ish people there that were all hyped. Although with different opinions about how to get it done, they were all hyped about it getting done finally. And we also held a walkthrough through the hamlet with the town engineer to try to see, put our minds to it and see how it can be done, how we can shape it. So we're already taking a lot of meeting steps and all that. Now we gotta fund the first part of this. And I think this is not too much to ask for in order to make something big of this, of our hamlet here. Are there any questions or debate points on this?
I think the only point I'll make is, Larry's been bringing up a point quite often about the use of ARPA funds and it covering the most amount, like, it services the most part of the town.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been some issues where ARPA funds have been used for individual water districts to pay things where maybe it shouldn't have been.
So I did look into that point because Larry did do that, and I sent Larry. I should have sent the rest of the board back language supporting why this is absolutely legal and free to use for this type of thing. It's a town road. You can use
I know it's
ARPA
not
fund
that
for
it's
any
not
town road.
legal or anything, but
Yeah.
it's to basically use ARPA funds for the things that benefit the most. I mean, we're looking at other numbers. I needed get a rebuild on a roadway going to the well near the school on town-owned property because we have to have access to that well.
Mhm.
We're talking about a mower for Knapp's View. So there's a lot of little things out there. We haven't compiled a total list from all of our departments in the town. You know, you're gonna have another meeting in regards to that.
Yep, I have a wish list from town departments, but we are going to be holding another town wide department meeting where Councilman Courtney will be there with me this time around, and we're going to be going over the safety committee for the insurance, but we're also going to be nailing down the final wish list for everybody so we can discuss if we.
So I want to make sure, you know, I just want to know that we can make sure that we have the funds for all the
Yes.
things that we really need to get done.
Yep.
With the ARPA funds.
We obviously need to prioritize, but you know, I think this is and like I said before, just because we're allocating 100K does not mean that we're going to be using the 100K. And just because we want to set aside 25K for the survey does not mean we need to use all 25K. It might come in less.
Now, is this something we're going to bid also as far as these?
Well, not the survey,
Not the survey.
but and obviously not the project scope and estimate because that's all the engineer. But the actual work will be bid, obviously.
The actual work for the projects, but
Yeah, when we actually get to,
even though even though with the 25K, we're within our rights with our procurement policy now, are we going to get multiple prices on survey rather than just using our engineer?
we could do that. We could absolutely do that.
I'm looking to get the best price for what we're going to try to do. If we're going to try to conserve, you know, ARPA funds to move forward with other projects, hopefully. So just consideration I'd like to look at.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I share Tom's concerns, but I understand now we're just earmarking money doesn't mean we're spending it, so I do understand that.
Yeah,
And I think it's a worthy project. We need to get it done, but I have the concerns of everything else we need to get done in the town. And I feel that the water line into the Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center is something that's going to benefit the entire town in regards to a facility that the town voted for to get done. I want to make sure we have the funds to get that done and move forward with it.
Absolutely. We discussed that, and I think even after we allocate this 100,000, we'll be playing with around 73-ish left over, and I think that's plenty for what you're talking about, and possibly more. And again,
I don't know, we don't, until I get that actual document from the engineer to draft the specification for the materials, there's no way of knowing that. So it's still a concern. I mean, I'm thinking 50 grand and maybe more than that with the cost of products as they are now. I mean, fire hydrants have doubled in price in the last couple of years.
with this 100, if we're gonna, go by the engineer's estimates for 40,000 for the comprehensive plan review, and then another, at the maximum 25,000 for the survey, that puts us at 65.
And
So that's still leaving 35 left over. If we need to reallocate that next week, we could do that.
And with other conversations this board has had in the past, our whole financial system here at the town is a big question mark with all the reconciliation that's been done, but still needs to be completed. We have our budgeted amount. We have taxes collected, but we don't know what monies we have available to us or if we have any fund balances at the end of the year. So there's a lot of scary thoughts out on everything we do. And I want to make sure that we're doing decisions that work best for this board and the community and make sure that we're doing the right thing.
I completely agree.
And again, I shared the same concerns pretty much that Tom has. And, I said it's a double-edged sword. I mean, to get this done, obviously is a priority because then we can see, we could finally actually get serious about getting some funding for it. But we talked about, a date when we should have a number. I would just ask again, hold everyone's feet to the fire on that drop dead date. So this way we know, because again, there's a lot of stuff that we have to do. And now, again, I have concerns with the finance piece of it.
Yep.
But we can have a number by that date. I mean, I'm good.
And let's get our prices and we'll move forward.
Yeah, the town comptroller has told me multiple times that he's hoping to have it all figured out and have our finances in order by the end of June. Obviously, as all of you have said previously, it's a big mess that was left for them, and they're working through it. So they're going as fast as they can.
Yeah, if we get a number in June, then at least we know where we are because we have again a financial obligation to all the residents. So that's,
And we got to move into our budget process.
yeah, and I guess we're going to do that earlier, but that's a conversation for another day.
We're going to be starting the budget process in July, and the town comptroller is very aware of that. So he's making sure to be hopefully done by June. All right. Any other debate or comments on this?
Good.
All right. I'd like to make the motion to authorize or earmark $100,000 in ARPA funding for the development and execution of the comprehensive plan, 25 of which being used for the survey of Kings Highway.
I'll second it.
Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Holdridge,
Aye.
Councilmember Argisana,
Aye.
Councilmember Becker,
Aye.
Councilmember Courtney,
Aye.
Councilmember Dysinger.
Aye.
Very good. Passes unanimously. Very good. All right.
We didn't mean to let you sweat a little bit.
You guys make the sales tax, we don't.
Yeah.
Remember that.
We're doing our best up here, or we will be. All right. Resolution to accept the EMS RFP and authorize its release to the public. We are finally at the point of which that we can release this. We've been talking about it for months. I've been talking about it for a while. We have it written up. We've in no small part thanks to the chief of police and the fire district chief Tom Marciano. We're there now. There's probably some kinks to still be worked out, but that always can be worked out. Just because we release this does not mean we can't amend it afterwards. Yeah, so everybody's gotten the final copy I sent to everybody, I believe, at the end of last week.
Yep.
So everybody should have the timeline and all that. And I have a resolution prepared here. Well, not a resolution, a notice written up by our town attorney. Request for proposals for the EMS service of the town of Chester. Please take notice that proposals will be received at the office of the town clerk, Town of Chester Town Hall, 1786 Kings Highway, Chester, New York, 10918, until 5 p.m. on July 8th, at which time they will be publicly opened and reviewed for provisions of emergency medical services for a future ambulance district to serve the town of Chester. Any questions concerning the request for proposals shall be submitted by June 6th, 2024. Proposals must be submitted in a sealed envelope in accordance with the bid instructions. The requests for proposals are available on the town's website, or will be, or at the office of the town clerk at the town hall. The town reserves the right to waive any informality in or to reject any and all proposals. And that will be a statement put out by the town clerk. All right. Are there any debate points, questions about the EMS RFP process?
No, not this point.
No, we're good.
We're good. All right. Very good. I'd like to motion to accept the EMS RFP and authorize its release to the public.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Holdridge,
Aye.
Councilmember Argisana,
Aye.
Councilmember Becker,
Aye.
Councilmember Courtney,
Aye.
Councilmember Dysinger.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Thank you. Big step in the right direction. We are on our way. And has everybody received a copy of the tax district map? The EMS, the ambulance tax district map? No? Yes?
No, you sent that out
Yeah,
a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to think so.
Did we authorize that, or do we need to authorize that? Does that come later? I think this is a question for Liz.
I think so.
Yeah, I'll talk to Liz about it. But I'm pretty sure everybody got a copy of that. If you
Yes.
haven't,
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
just let us know. I have it sitting in my office if anybody wants to browse. All right. So again, the EMS RFP is officially out there and should be on the town website by tomorrow. Hopefully.
Do you expect multiple?
Yes. I got a lot of interest in the first month of me bringing this up back in
That's encouraging.
February or so.
Did they give any input to you in regards to their thoughts on it?
Oh yeah, everybody had a lot of different options. You know, somebody came in saying I can help you build one here. A Chester EMS service. Another one said, I have I'm one of the neighboring towns. We can partner together. Another one said, well, we can create like a a zone of towns that can all be partnering together. And
So we should be looking at some interesting numbers.
Yes.
hopefully.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of
different options.
a lot of diversity in the options, hopefully. Yeah. So lots of people are very interested in it. And a lot of people, I mean, the major theme, even though they all came at me differently, the major theme was, just how impressed they were with that we're doing this, that we're stepping up to the
Other
plate.
towns have already done it.
Yes, but everybody is very fearful of what's to come in the future
Yeah.
in terms of the staffing issue that they're having across the state. So they're saying that we are really doing a good job of getting ahead of the game with this type of thing.
So
So
hopefully this creates some interest for, people coming through colleges and
Yes.
coming out of high school to say this is an
I know the
opportunity.
county executive, I don't want to speak for him, but they've already approached Orange County Community College about having courses for EMTs and the certifications and all of that. So hopefully they'll be able to backfill, that'll be a backfiller for what's to come.
Hopefully they can create some better
Because eventually the
salaries.
state's got to make it an essential service. I still can't believe 2024, it's not an essential service.
Mhm. All right, new business. I have two pieces of new business here. I spoke to the town engineer earlier today. We've talked about handicap spaces at the senior center, and we've had some, I've had some discussions with him about the possibility of increasing the amount of spaces to the left there. When you're looking at the senior center, right to the left in that grassy spot right between the senior center and the police department. The town engineer is confident that we can squeeze somewhere between 3 and 6 spaces there for handicap spaces. So he would like authorization to draw or to drop an RFP to put out to bid to see how other companies can possibly fulfill that dream.
Couldn't we do that in-house with our own
Yeah.
people?
I think that's absolutely something that I have already discussed, but that needs to be kind of in a formalized meeting with John and Keith as well. But he has to drop like some sort of plan first or what we want, and then we can discuss. This is just like authorizing him for anything else with the project scope and estimate that we've done here. So
I mean, I
Okay.
just,
I would think it's
Not an
just
RFP.
the engineering to mark with a site plan and then getting a quote for line striping. I think that's all would be involved in that.
because a highway, I mean, if it's
Highway
just
guy.
filling ground and
Pulling the dirt, I'm not a highway guy, but you just put down gravel and you put blacktop on top of it.
I mean, there might be a fill area. I mean, it's something I mean, again, it's discussing
maybe I
with the
can get
highway
you guys on an
department.
email chain for him to discuss it more with you.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, I mean,
and-
I
'cause he
know-
knows more of the technical terminology than I do.
So are you talking about on the existing pavement or extending the
No,
pavement?
expanding.
Oh, okay.
If you're
Expand.
pulling
Got
it,
it.
Larry, to the left, you have that little grass.
I know what
area.
you're talking about. I didn't
Yeah,
realize.
that would be that grass.
that
You wouldn't be able to do it on the existing because then you block all the spaces right there already, trying to come out.
Well,
So what we
no, I
want to do is
understand that.
expand it to the left. So you have more and then all, this corner, they can come out this way, they can come out this way easily.
Got it.
And he's confident that 3 to 6 more spaces can be filled in there.
That might mean extending sidewalk and stuff there too.
No.
No.
No, the
Pavement will
pathway,
come
the
up to-
pavement will be enough to connect to
Okay.
the pathway, so we don't have to do anything with sidewalks. He was very persistent on that, because that was my first question is, how much is gonna, all these new sidewalks are expensive. And he said, no need for them.
The concern there is the grading.
Yes.
For handicap, there's specifications for a handicap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He's on it. So are you guys not ready for this right now? Maybe want to discuss it with them more, or are you guys good with this right
I
now?
think minimize our impact, on cost, if he could just minimize what he's going to do there, just.
All right, then why don't we
Yeah.
just discuss it more, and then we can,
Yeah, good.
when you guys are more comfortable, we can do it at the next
Yeah,
meeting. maybe.
we'll get John Riley involved because he'd have to do the work. and the
Yeah, I
highway
want to
guys.
kind of take a look at what's necessary there, because
Yeah, we can
a lot of
save-
things can be done in-house like that if they have the time and
Yeah.
they can bring in material, because they can do the work.
We have the equipment to do it.
Yeah.
For the most part, except paving, but.
All right, I'll have John reach out to you guys about talking about this then. So we'll table that for now. And then the last thing is the 1597 Route 17M waiver request, building moratorium waiver request. This is the property right down the street from the castle. She was here before. Milani was here before. Spoke about it. You guys have all been on the emails, receiving all the information. Are there any, I'll read the resolution here and then we'll talk about debate points and all. Whereas the town of Chester has commenced a comprehensive planning process and in furtherance of the process has adopted local law 1 of 2024, a moratorium on certain permits, certificates, and occupancy and approvals for a certain development. Whereas Milani Hunter previously submitted an application to the town of Chester Planning Board for the construction of a 25,000 square foot dance studio and daycare facility and reconstruction of an existing barn located on site in 2022. The project is located on a 5.3 acre lot within the LB zoning district. And whereas the applicant was navigating the planning process, including review pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. And whereas the adoption of Local Law 1 of 2024 has prevented the project from continuing its planning board review. Whereas the applicant has submitted a request for a waiver pursuant to Local Law 1 of 2024 and has provided documentation as to the financial hardship that would result in the absence of a waiver by the town board. Said documentation includes the cost of project engineering, a small business administration loan, which will shortly come into repayment, and the cost of an ongoing rent of the applicant's existing dance studio that will continue to accrue with the delay of the project. And now therefore be it resolved that after considering the materials presented together with the report of the planning board, the town board hereby grants a waiver pursuant Section 4 of Local Law 1 of 2024, and be it further resolved that the planning board is hereby authorized to process the applicant's site plan application in accordance with the town of Chester zoning code. And be it further resolved that the applicant is on notice that the applicable zoning may change as a result of the comprehensive planning process and that the applicant is proceeding at their own risk. This waiver does not act to grandfather the existing project under the current zoning. So this is what the resolution would read if we were to accept it. Are there any questions or debate points on this resolution?
I'm okay with it.
I'm good.
No, we're good.
Yes.
I'm good.
We're all good?
We're good.
All right, do I hear a motion
Motion?
I'll second.
to accept the application, to accept the building moratorium waiver request?
Yes.
Yes,
second.
all right. By Dysinger and then by Courtney.
Mhm.
Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Holdridge,
Aye.
Councilmember Ardisana,
Aye.
Councilmember Becker,
Aye.
Councilmember Courtney.
Aye.
Councilmember Dysinger,
Aye.
Passes unanimously. All right. Yes, you will. All right, that brings us to the end of new business. Public comment, I would just like to say
before you do, I might have one or two more.
announcements type deals,
Announcements,
yeah. Both of these?
Yeah.
All right, there is a veteran celebration breakfast from 9 to 11 a.m. on June 12th at the Otterkill Country Club, 100 Otter Road, Campbell Hall, New York, 10916. This is being put on by Hospice of Orange and Sullivan. That will be posted. And then another from the Department of State. Did you know over half of female and male victims of rape, physical violence, and or stalking by an intimate partner experience some form of intimate partner violence for the first time before 25 years of age? The New York State Department of State hosts an address confidentiality program, ACP, that can provide peace of mind with a secure address. The ACP is a free program that lets your constituents shield their home address to help maintain their safety. The ACP is available to constituents and their immediate family members who have experienced domestic violence, stalking, sexual offenses, human trafficking, and reproductive healthcare services, including patients, volunteers, providers, and their employees. If they qualify, they will receive a secure Albany Post Office box as their official mailing address. The ACP will forwards all first class and certified mail from their private PO box to their home address. Our service is private, secure, and safe. This information will also be posted, I'm sure. All right. Before we get into actual public comment, I just wanted to recognize our town attorney's daughter, Molly, is over in Iowa right now, fighting the good fight for New York in the Odyssey of the Mind tournament. So good luck to Molly, and congratulations, Liz, already on having a wonderful daughter. All right. Any other public comment from the audience tonight? Yes, please.
Just a brief announcement, American Legion Post 1167 has their Memorial Day service on Monday at 11 a.m. at the Main Street Firehouse, open to the public. It's about a 15-minute ceremony with refreshments to follow.
On Monday.
Monday.
Memorial Day at 11 a.m.
Monday at 11 a.m. That's good.
Main Street Firehouse.
I hadn't seen any,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
you
We're
know,
all saying.
Monday.
I was going to ask about that too.
Is there any other comment online? Anything else? All good in the hood? All right. All right. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Uh,